This is me. Okay. What up, homie?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Life is good. I am showing up to work every day, unlike a certain favorite player of ours for the Chiefs, who, Chris Jones is not, just kind of not losing money. I think it's like 50 grand a day. He's losing by not showing up to practice.
He'll be fine.
He will be fined.
He did there. No, man. Yeah, I really hope he gets signed soon. Mahomes has been talking about how he misses him, wishes he was there. I'm pretty sure Andy Reid really wishes he was there.
Right.
And I don't know how Spagnuolo feels, but I mean, you got Omenihu who's going to be suspended.
Right. What happened there? That was just, did you know anything about that? Because I didn't. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, so apparently he was allegedly involved in some kind of domestic.
Right, and I knew that. I guess I knew that, but like,
so it just ties back from that. So I think finally they have went through their due process and have given him the terms in which he is to be given, because I guess he took a plea bargain type of thing. But I don't know much about the situation, just from what other things I've listened to on the internet says that. He pled no contest, so I don't know if there's actual evidence or whatever. But I think that's probably why Brett Veach was able to get a heck of a deal on the guy. And so, hopefully Kansas City can humble him and he can stay out of trouble.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah, no.
Let's not do that. But yeah, it wasn't anything new. But and I think I heard when they first signed him that he had that background issues, and I was like, I thought that had all been resolved, but apparently not. I'm looking at this going, wait a minute, what?
It's old news. But yeah, I think that's just stuff that came out publicly where reporters were just like, oh, by the way, now that we have the details of his contract, this is probably why it was such a good deal. And then fast forward to, oh, he's actually been charged with XYZ. So, it's just back in the news. Nothing new, except we know that he's going to be missing quite a bit. And he's got a lot of work to do after week 6. But right. The other interesting thing about it, too, is it's like, so this guy, and not to downplay the seriousness of the situation, but he pled no contest. Not actually sure what happened. He only misses 6 weeks of the game. And then you got Alvin Kamara and that other dude. He was a Chiefs special team player or whatever, but they are on camera beating the crap out of somebody at the Pro Bowl or something like that. Dude's unconscious, and they're still beating this guy up, and they only miss 3 weeks. So
it's very inconsistent with how they do that.
Yeah,
very inconsistent. Willie Gay got 4 games, and it was something with it was a vacuum clean, and it wasn't really all of that big of a deal from what I can tell. And that was last year. He missed the Bills game last year in the regular season. So. Yeah.
So
the NFL's really inconsistent with how they dish out punishments.
Yeah, no kidding. And technically it's none of our business. We're just fans. We just hope that everyone is safe.
No, and we don't know the whole situation, but if they're on video, eek, dude, eek.
Yeah.
If you're on video, let's say you're a Chiefs running back on video kicking a woman.
Hypothetically
speaking, that's a bad look, and the franchise could touch it.
Yeah, definitely not a good look. And kudos to the franchise for taking matters into their own hands before the league does their due process. But yet at the end of the day, they do their work and they investigate it. They get all the facts. They know more than we do. So I just trust that, everything's going to be handled and justice is going to be served. So
Right.
that's all we can do. But speaking of things that we can do, we can talk about episode 3,
The quarterback.
Kings of Pain. Oh man, it took me
Oh,
back. So
it took you back.
it took me back to my skateboarding days of having to ice
Oh,
my
okay.
ankles and, and knees and elbows,
no.
whatever was hurting that day.
Oh no.
Yeah, but what about you, man? What's the worst injury you've ever had?
I don't. Like I jammed my thumb playing basketball. Oh,
For real?
yeah.
Oh damn.
Oh man, hold up. So okay, there was one time a kid hit a line drive like right at me, and like I was playing second base and he hit it like it was a rocket and I jammed my fingers.
Ooh.
Playing baseball.
Ow.
That hurt.
Did you ever break anything?
I don't think so. There was one scary like incident where I had like my foot started to swell up for no reason.
Ugh.
And it's still swollen. I have lymphedema in my foot, and it's just swollen. And my folks were like, "What is this?" And then the doctor was like, "Oh, it's a serious injury. Like you shouldn't be playing." I'm like, "Well, I'm fine." And then after a while, I just went back on the field. I was like, "Listen, I'm good. I'm good to play."
There you go. That's awesome.
So that wasn't an injury, but it was the most serious thing, I guess, like disease that I had. And what like I never had an injury, I don't think, knock on wood, playing sports.
That's
Yeah.
good. Good deal.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Jamming your finger hurts. Okay,
It does.
It hurts. And you know what I did? I went ah, and the coach was like, "Ryan, we're gonna take you out." I'm like, "No, dang it!"
I can still throw.
Yeah,
I'm good. Oh man.
I'm taking it. No.
Man, earlier this summer, actually, I jabbed my finger just catching a football. It was one of those like styrofoam squishy footballs, which doesn't hurt unless you're at a pool party and you get that sucker wet. Then that thing's like a freaking block of concrete. And I was trying to be all cool, jump into the pool in midair, catch it, and it just jabbed my finger. And I was like under the water, and it's cold. And oh man, I couldn't like move it right for 2 days. Probably the worst injury, I don't know, I think I've ever had.
It hurt.
Yes, sir, it hurt. But when I was like 6 or 7, I went up with my uncles. We were going into like an abandoned grain silo, and the ladder was too big for me to like get onto. So I was like holding on to one of their backs, and we got about 10 feet up there, and some like dust starts falling on my face, and I'm like, ugh. And I just let go. I don't know why, but I guess to wipe the dust off my face. I don't really remember, but I fell down and just like landed on the ground and just kind of like collapsed. I did not break anything somehow. God was with me, but I couldn't get up and I couldn't walk, and I was just crying. And ever since then, I've had a fear of heights, or like a fear of falling and landing on the ground. But yeah, that's probably the worst thing I've ever had. And I've fallen a lot skateboarding.
Out of all your skateboarding injuries, you falling off a ladder when you're 6, it's pretty good. We've been pretty lucky with that. You know these quarterbacks, they're pretty tough with these injuries.
No kidding.
Because I didn't want to play with a jammed finger.
Yeah, knock on wood. I don't think I've ever broken anything either. But then you got Kirk Cousins up there, He was
Kirk
like playing
Cousins.
with like a broken rib half the season
Yeah.
or
Oh, he's
two.
tough. He's a lot tougher than he looks. And
Than
then
the average cousin.
and then that people give him credit for. Yeah, and he's probably tougher than your my cousins.
Yeah.
I don't have a cousin that's probably tougher than him.
Yeah, same
Sorry,
here.
Jonathan or Michael or Chris. Yeah.
No kidding. Well, I'm sure they're tough, but they're not Kirk Cousins tough.
No.
So, just quick recap for those that aren't aware of the episode and are tuning into us for for your information of this. I highly recommend watching it because we're not going to do it justice. But yeah, so there's not really a whole lot of development as far as the quarterback stories go. It starts off with Kirk Cousins taking like an ice bath, even talking about dipping himself in Lake Michigan because of the water being like 50-ish something.
Have you ever jumped in like an ice bath? Like,
no, they do the polar plunge.
Do you take cold showers?
No, I mean, like, I'll jump in the pool at Labor Day, but that's about it.
Oh, yeah, that's tough, too.
What about you? Have you done anything like that?
I take cold showers sometimes. I tried it once.
Yeah? How was it?
I did it for like 20 seconds, and it's cold. I guess it's like good for your body, but like, I don't know. There's a whole thing out there. His name's called the Iceman. Shout out Sarah Watson for bringing him. I forgot what his name is, like Win Hoff or whatever. Yes, Win Hoff, the Iceman. Just a crazy guy, but that's all he does is just hang out in the cold and take cold showers and jump in freezing water.
That's crazy. Well, not to like completely derail, but I don't know if you know Tony Robbins. You familiar with that dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's all about like peak performance, and that's how he starts his day every day is by literally jumping into like a bathtub full of ice and then just doing that for a minute or two, and then even when you go to his like conferences, he keeps it like very cold in there just so that way your body is in like this hyper state of awareness. But yeah, I have actually heard of like all these benefits that there is to doing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is, but my gosh.
Yeah, Joe Rogan does the cryogenic freaking tank baths as well. So I don't know. I'm always cold just because I'm like really skinny. I'm wearing a jacket and when it's like 70 degrees outside. So whatever. But anyway.
Well, then you have the opposite of those fat guys who are always sweating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these dudes are big, and I'm sure they get hot a lot. So anyway, the episode starts off with kind of seeing how Kirk Cousins rehabilitates, how they all do really. But it starts off with Kirk, and then it kind of cuts to Mahomes and Bobby Stroop doing their thing, and they kind of talk about their ABC rotations. It kind of goes a little easy.
He's got a good spine. Apparently, he got a very flexible spine.
Yeah, literally and metaphorically. Yeah. But he's super flexible. I couldn't tell you what the numbers are.
Metaphorically. What?
He talks about him being like an owl's head on a swivel too.
That's true. Yeah.
So.
My neck just cracked. Yeah.
Wow,
I would be a terrible quarterback.
Yeah. Is your neck okay?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Good.
It just I couldn't. But Mahomes, like the way he was doing everything was like if he practices all those off the cuff throws is what they were getting at. He practices those crazy, like, I mean, he just doesn't do that in a game just to I don't know, to show off. Like they practice that, and it's a part of his repertoire. So and like Bobby Stroop was he's known Mahomes. He's been Mahomes' trainer since he was 14. And he's actually a very good follow on Twitter because whenever anybody goes at Mahomes, let's say you're Jamar Chase, and you say something like, Pat who? Pat who? Well, Bobby Straub got a hold of that, and he just replied to that video and told Jamar Chase, "Thank you for that, because that's just going to give Mahomes motivation." He also did the same thing to I don't know if you remember Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah, he was like the cheetah or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know, you may have missed him because he didn't make the playoffs this year.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
He was with the Dolphins.
Got a lot of touchdowns and got a lot of money.
He put up good numbers, actually, really good numbers. But
really did, actually. All respect, yeah, he did.
Didn't win anything. He was on his podcast mouthing off again because somebody was asking him, "Hey, who had the better performance in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes?" And Tyreek was like, man, I got to go with Jalen. Definitely Jalen, definitely Jalen Hurts. Yeah, and Jalen, this whole notion that Jalen Hurts had a better Super Bowl than Patrick Mahomes is ridiculous, because Mahomes was, his quarterback rating was amazing, 135. He didn't turn the ball over, and what he did was be so efficient with his time of possession. But I digress. So Bobby Stroud got a hold of that nonsense that Tyreek was saying, and he just wrote "thank you" back to Tyreek Hill on X or Twitter or whatever it's called now, because again, it's going to give Mahomes motivation. And Mahomes, as we can tell through this documentary, is very Michael Jordan-y with his grudges.
Yeah, he's like an elephant.
And you can tell too when he's playing, because he'll do the finger counting.
Oh yeah.
He did against Chicago. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3.
He says he goes into this mode and doesn't remember what all he does.
He doesn't. You can tell.
It's
There's one moment where he just goes psycho after the Chargers game, but that's for a later episode.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'm him. But he goes pretty hard. But yeah, like Bobby Stroud he's a good follow on social media.
Thanks for that. So Mahomes and him, they've known each other a while. I think he mentioned that he'd gone one season in the NFL without him as his trainer, got a lot of high ankle sprains, and then after that, Bobby moved to KC. They see each other 3 days a week outside of his mandatory training with the franchise, and then it's like A days, like relax, rejuvenate day, B days kind of semi fast, and then C day is go full speed, go hard or go home. And then we see Marcus Mariota's dietitian is there, and
to go back.
All right, go do it.
Mahomes was his workouts. Did you see his doing the little squat thing where he had to switch legs?
Yeah. Where he had like the freaking squat bell and was like that up on curbs.
Have you ever done that?
Not with the bar.
I haven't done that with a bar. Hey, you can do this with 125 pounds. No, I can't. Yeah, you can. I don't think I can. And then he tried, and I was like, oh god, trainers are annoying, aren't they?
Yeah, I remember a buddy of mine, Rory Hutt. He's actually a trainer out at the community center here, and for the Warrensburg Community Center, and they was getting his picture for like the catalog or whatever, and they're like, he's like working out. He's like, oh, we need to smile, and he's just like, if you're going to the gym, you should never be happy.
That's hilarious. Well, I mean, I guess you're trying to improve yourself. The reason you're going to the gym is trying to get in shape. So that should make you happy.
Yeah. You gotta destroy yourself to get stronger. Yeah. That's hilarious.
There you go. That's what we're talking about. Your boy. I'm gonna call him your boy, Marcus Mariota, because I feel like you could relate to him with this upcoming nugget that you're gonna about to
share. Yeah. You know where I'm going with this. I think I'm gonna need an ice bath after this, though. But
we're just doing a podcast, dude. Did you get injured during the podcast? Dang it.
then it's gonna go viral.
Dang it.
So
How did you get injured? Like we're talking about being tough. Kings of pain. Trenton and I are not that.
not at all. Maybe the princes of pain, ambassadors. So anyway, our boy Eminem, Marcus Mariota, his
Hey, Luigi.
dietitian.
Yeah.
This dude's dietitian comes in and probably reveals the biggest secret to why he's not winning very many games. It's because he's eating McDonald's every Monday for his cheat day. Like,
and you think that's why
come on, bro.
You think that's why he's fumbling away games in the fourth quarter? Like,
yeah, dude. Like garbage in, garbage out. You're gonna play like crap if you're eating crap. But for real, I'm not sponsored. But if I could eat McDonald's once a week, I would definitely get a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle sub round egg because
okay,
that stuff's yummy.
What would Okay, so I think that too. Like I was like, man, because every once in a while I'll just get craving. Like my go-to is like for breakfast, like fast food is Chick-fil-A's chicken burrito. It's freaking amazing. All right,
Yeah.
the meal, and then like I'll have it after, and then I'm like, oh gosh, but like from like that 8:30 in the morning to like 8:45, like when I'm in line at Chick-fil-A and they have the best Chick-fil-A, drive-through business in the country. Like, I mean, I'm so efficient with that.
Man, that's good.
But
That's good stuff.
Like that craving's there, and so, but yeah, every once in a while I'll eat it, and then I'll there's sometimes where I'm like, I hit the spot. There's sometimes where I'm like, ew, why did I eat that? And then it'll be gross.
Because our body's addicted. So you remember during the pandemic, whenever like McDonald's like had select breakfast menu items like the hash brown and the muffin and all that. They need to bring that back.
So I never go to McDonald's.
Dang.
Except because can I tell you this one story about my drive-through experience at McDonald's?
Please.
This is where I was hangry. I live right by McDonald's, and I went there one morning before work to get breakfast burrito. You usually would get 2 breakfast burritos, and so I ordered through the drive-through, and the guy was like, "That'll be like $4.25." I'm like, $4.25? He's like, "That's what I just said." I'm like, listen. And then I just went off because I was like, I'm not paying $4.25. I was like, listen. I was like, you minimum wage douche. And like, I just went in on him. Like, you minimum wage douche. Like, like, who do you think you are? Like, talking to me like that. I know just because you hate yourself and your job. And like, I went in on him, and I felt like I think I was angry. I was hangry at the time, and so I just started. I mouthed him back off to him, and I think it was along the lines of that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it's like, listen, you minimum wage douche. Like, it used to be $3.25. I'm arguing with this guy over $1. And so this guy, after I'm done, he's like, "Why don't you come and say it to my face?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." And then I just drove off. That was
all over the speaker, man.
That was my last experience. That was like 3 years ago. I was like 5 years ago. That was my last experience at McDonald's.
Your order is still waiting there.
And he had every like right to like be. I mean, he shouldn't have said that's what I just said. Like, because I was actually like legitimately questioning that. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like 320, like 425? Like it went up?" He's like, "Yeah, that's what I just said." I'm like, "Listen, all right, you minimum wage douche. You hate like I know you're trying to do that to pay for child support or whatever." Like, it just went in on him, and
quit scamming me.
Yeah, and so. And then it ended up with me just like driving off. I was not about to eat those. God knows what they would have done to that.
Well, you saved money that day, and your body probably thanked you as well.
I don't know where I went. I think I went to Sonic.
Nice.
So that was my McDonald's.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um,
God, I have rage.
I like so I worked fast food pretty much most of my life, and like over 10 years experience of it. So I know the ins and outs of the drive-through speaker, and I like to go to Culver's, and they're like, "What's a good name for the order?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, my name's Pork Chop. My name's Jennifer." Or whatever, just throw them off. Just give them something to talk about because they'll go on. We'll talk about that for days.
Oh yeah, yeah. Me and my friend used to do like this, and this was like back when I was in college. My friend and I we used to do that. Like we used to. He was a real fat guy. I remember we went. I forget. Was it Taco Bell? I think we went to one time. We was at the drive-through, and my friend was. He was just. I was fully clothed. My friend was like down to his underwear, like whitey tighties. His underwear. He had this big van, and so like this huge van that we were in. I was in the passenger seat. He was in the driver's seat, and so we ordered like it was like nothing. Like the whole bit was like we weren't gonna we were just gonna play it straight, and so we did. And we had friends inside that could tell like what the people were saying. And the guy who was doing the drive through was like, "Oh man, this guy's fat and he doesn't have a shirt on." Like, 'cause we were trying. And so we would do that several times. There'll be several times where we would just go to a drive through and just order water. Like,
Those are always the worst.
uh,
Oh man, what?
yeah.
So those listening, we want to know what's the craziest thing you've ever done in a drive-through. Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear stories.
Did you ever throw anything back at like the people at the drive through?
Oh no. I just say weird things and just
Okay.
am very enthusiastic, and I think that throws them off enough. But no, I've never physically thrown anything at them, just because I've been on the other end of that, and
Okay.
there
Yeah.
are
Fair enough.
people, there like customers like get upset about some of the most mundane crap. Granted, maybe they're having a bad day. I don't know why, but I have a little sympathy for people at work and the line.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess that we never did that. We would just be weird. Like we had never like going through the drive-through in our whitey tidies and just not really like it was like 5:30 in the afternoon. Just it's not like 2 hour munchie fest, 2 in the morning munchie fest. Um, yeah, so
That's
just
great.
great, crazy. But Marcus doing some McDonald's work.
It's
Patrick doing some,
McDonald's. No
Patrick.
shame. I'm sure he burns the calories off. That's
Uh,
great.
yeah, and I'm sure Patrick eats a lot of Whataburger.
I'm sure he does too. Hopefully, he can bring In and Out to us next, because that'd be
Well,
legit.
I think that would be a conflict of interest.
I'd like to
So,
see it.
well,
Be interested in that conflict.
yeah. Well, it won't. It won't come. Maybe Kelsey. It won't come from Mahomes.
Kelsey In and Out. Yeah. So, and that's basically it for like Marcus's storyline. I think there's like
He
one
just
thing.
eats McDonald's, yeah, and his trainer. Like,
Yeah, he's got
this
McDonald's and his trainer. He knew his
living
trainer
chef
like
goes to the
back in
games
the
with him.
day. Yeah, and then he hooks his trainer up with like a game.
And
Like,
man, we
you
used to
just
go.
go to one game. I don't know how many he goes to,
We used
but
to go. Like, we used to be bows, man. I don't. I'm being really rude, but like, yeah.
like, you're gonna make it one day. Like, yeah, I
And
know.
remember
Don't forget.
me.
And then he didn't forget him. So that's
That's
kind of
cool
cool.
though, and actually that's cool. That he does that, and that he hooks his boys up. That and going into culinary school, and the guy's like, "Yeah, come live with me, like cook with me, make sure it's healthy stuff." So I'm sure it's a lot of fish oil stuff. So,
Right.
but yeah, and he's going to games. Yeah, they showed his reaction to the one game that the Falcons seem to have won.
Yeah. And then honestly, for what it's worth, Marcus is actually playing at a professional level, way better than I ever could.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's got a good routine going on. Even if he does have a cheat day, he's allowed to have that once a week. It's all.
Yeah, he is, and I actually have a lot of respect for him because he's way better athlete than any of us could ever imagine ourselves being. So,
yeah. And then we kind of see more of Mahomes and the 49ers, which was a blowout of a game.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wish they would have shown more, but
I could have watched those highlights again. Yeah.
Oh God, that was good. Such a good game. McCole Hartman gets sweet. I think he gets 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In that game.
No, he didn't die, did he? He went to the Jets.
I think maybe he did actually go out eventually. I know that he was hurt a lot for last season.
He was. I think he got hurt. I think he may have got hurt that game.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the game that he got hurt because he scored, and then he was hurt the next game. What the heck? And then it was just the injuries just kept on happening, and it came back for the playoffs, and then got hurt again. In the Bengals.
I think Frank Clark got a safety that game too.
Frank Clark did get a safety that game. Yeah, that was he jumped on Jimmy G's back, and it was hilarious because he just just climbed on his back and just held
it was gobbled him up.
It was that fourth quarter was just a freaking masterpiece of that. Yeah, the second half was just a masterpiece of how you. And the thing is that the Chiefs were down 10 points in that game.
Just like Super Bowl.
Ended up winning by 20. That's just how it is. That's just how it is being a Chiefs fan. So
yeah, they could get through anything. That's great. But yeah, wish they would have shown more of that.
That was the game where it's was that the game where Mahomes is like, they don't know I got tape. I got tape. I watch tape. Was that the game?
I think so. I think that was right before they went into the bye as well.
Right, yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, they ended on a great note. And then the other half of the episode is pretty much Kirk Cousins playing our favorite AFC rival besides the Bengals.
Preseason champions, the Bills, because they never win it when it counts. They're the preseason champions. Oh gosh, this was my favorite game of the year. And
why that?
Well, one, because again, the Bills were the 1 seed at this time. I think the Bills. Well, had they already lost to the Jets? and had they already lost because they lost to the Jets? And then I maybe because they lost to the Jets the same time that the Chiefs are playing the Titans. And have we got to the Titans game yet?
I don't
think so because that was a big thing that they did. Anyways, so the Bills. The game against the Vikings was probably the best season game of the year. I think the Vikings and the Falcons. That's another later game, but it was a crazy game, and they showed it from Cousins' perspective because Cousins was hurt. You know, he was playing with some bruised ribs. And it was good to see that from that perspective. And I even think that because they were down big in that game too, and his wife was there too. And so I just thought it was cool to see that perspective. And my favorite part was the best player of the year. It actually won the ESPY for best player of the year was Justin Jefferson's catch
on that fourth down,
fourth and 18. So Jefferson, Jefferson just reaches up and catches it, brings it down, 4th and 18, and they're on the 1 yard line. The thing is that it won play of the year, but they didn't even score during that drive. But it did actually end up helping them out because our boy Josh Allen comes through for us. But
he always does.
Oh gosh, yeah, never changed, Josh Allen. And he came through big time in this game. So So they had the Vikings had the ball at the 1 yard line, and Cousins is like 4th and 1, right? And they're down by what, 4? I think. Yeah, they're down by 4. So they Cousins calls a. I think they had a timeout, right? Like the coach said, like, "Hey, why don't you call a timeout? We could have talked about this." Cousins calls a quarterback draw, and he doesn't get it, and nobody knew. Like the coach, he just called it on his own, and it seems like that him and the coach have a good rapport with each other, have a good respect for each other. And I really, actually, all throughout these episodes, I really like the Vikings coach, um, because I felt like he's very even keel with Cousins when Cousins is going, oh man, oh dang it, no, you like that, and then or just he I think he's just a good, not too high, not too low coach, and I think that's what you're supposed to be, but you could tell he was visibly irritated with Cousins during that because he was like, hey, why didn't like we could have talked about that. We could have had another formation set up if you were going to do that, Cousins. But that's how I would have reacted. I would have probably given him the Stone Cold Stunner right there,
Yeah.
just because it was like you don't screw that up. But that didn't end up like they gave the ball back to the Bills at like the half-yard line. But our boy Josh Allen fumbles the snap off.
Joshy.
And then Bill and the Vikings recovered in one of my favorite plays of the year. The Vikings recovered for a touchdown. And then I think they played the Vikings radio broadcast in the episode where the guy's like, give it to him! Give it to him! Come on! Touchdown, yes. So it was
They fumbled the football.
yeah, and
Oh
so
my
our friend of the show, Nick Wright, said he tweeted out. I remember that he tweeted out after that game. Never change, Josh Allen. Never change. So it goes into overtime, and they have to settle for a field goal. But the Vikings have to settle for a field goal because they could have won the game had they scored a touchdown. They were very close to scoring a touchdown, but they had to settle for a field goal. And then Josh Allen drives the Bills down to like the 20-yard line and then throws an interception in the end zone to lose the game. So the Bills lost, and that actually cost them. That cost them the first seed in the playoffs. I think they did have, but like that cost them the overall number 1 seed because regardless of what happened with the Cincinnati game, they would have had it. So,
And
but
that
yeah.
was during the time to last year when we had the Damar Hamlin situation where they just didn't count that game.
I know, so weird.
And then there was all these what ifs. There's 3 different scenarios, and I couldn't go through with it because it was such a headache.
There was
dealing with that uncertainty, but in the end, it all worked in the Chiefs'
in the
favor.
end, good one out. It all worked out for our team. That's what counts.
All that counts. We were there to witness it.
In the end, they melted down in the snow. So yeah, but that game though, it was Cousins. Cousins had a good game that game. Like regardless, I know that they showed the missed miscalculation of the 4th down play, but Cousins had a really good strong game, and that was Jefferson's. Obviously, his catch was one of the greatest catches of all time. So,
one-handed.
I loved that game. Beated Bills Mafia. Yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. Yeah, MVP. They changed that to Josh Allen during his like home opener, and like they haven't even played a game yet. What are you chatting that for? Like, I mean, I get it, and then again, like we talked about this last week, but they were celebrating beating the Chiefs like they had just won the Super Bowl, and again, it was their Super Bowl, but yeah. So Anyways,
it's always next year. This year.
Well, that's not going to happen this year either.
Yeah.
They were talking about Dan Patrick. Like, what if they cut DeMar Hamlin? Like, what a bad PR move that would be. It's good to see.
The Chiefs had really, Eric Berry for.
It's really cool to see. Yeah, it's really cool to see him back. Oh, don't get me started on him. But it's really cool to see DeMar Hamlin back at training camp. All joking aside, it's good to see him because that was really, really dangerous and really, really scary. Eric Berry, came back from cancer and then, played a couple years. Actually, was very effective in 2016, and then he was like day to day in 2018 for the whole season. And then that was very irritating because he was like, maybe I'll play, maybe I won't. And then I think he's still day to day.
Still to this day.
Yeah. But his story was great until the end there. Yeah. That was the quarterback. And it was we're plugging away, man. Plugging away. And I am excited because I think we're going to training camp.
Yeah. Last time I checked, we got tickets for Friday, August 11th. And so we hope to see some fans out there. I hope to see Chris Jones out there. And hope to see
What are the odds we see Chris Jones out there?
I mean, that's like the last day of camp. So hopefully it's good.
Oh, good Lord. God, I hope he comes back, man.
The Ambassador Sack Nation. I mean, their first game's in what? Like a month?
Yeah, they're playing the Lions. Yeah.
Well,
all you got to do is see ball, tackle. So, get that by your rest, Chris.
Yeah.
Please come back. Please come back. Because, Kelsey and Mahomes took pay cuts for you.
Brett Veach, pay the man. Please.
Well, I mean, not I don't know what he's asking for. But, but at least be fair to him.
Yeah. Just be fair. Just please make a deal. For the love of God.
Make a deal. Come on. Get Chris Jones in Trent. It's Chris Jones, man.
If we don't, someone else will. He says he's a Chief for life, but money talks. So we'll see what happens.
You see Frank Clark tried to talk to him on
publicly, yeah. I don't know what kind of influence he has. Like, I'm going to call Chris Jones. Okay,
yeah.
Tell him.
Listen, Frank.
Come over to Denver, where the market's twice as much.
Yeah, we could talk about that too, because Frank Clark said, it's no rivalry with the Broncos and Chiefs. Like,
it was very admirable. It was right down the middle. He didn't trash talk or nothing. He answered the question. It was just straight up.
We didn't even consider them a rival when I was playing for the Chiefs because we didn't even know they existed. So it was cool. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the games to start because we had one preseason game and we can end on this. But what were your thoughts on? I heard that the Hall of Fame game's just a joke.
Yeah.
But I heard there was a preseason game going on that people.
Yeah, it was Thursday, but apparently the people at the stadium, as at Canton, Ohio, I believe they were playing, and
yes.
I guess they forgot because they ended up shutting
the lights off
halfway through the game.
The
lights just went off. They're like, oh yeah, there's people out there, but.
Yeah, the lights.
We can't afford the electricity.
It's the worst field. It's a terrible field. None of the players like playing. Nobody of any worth plays. It's just a bunch of third stringers. So they should probably do away with that game. Although it was good to see Zach Wilson out there doing stupid stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. And it was good to see Aaron Rodgers chumming it up with
yes, it was.
Chris Collinsworth and is that Mike Tirico? Is that the other guy?
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. These preseason games is just about the quarterback chumming it up. You'll see Mahomes, talking to Trenton and Ryan going, we're just, we're trying to celebrate and move on and move forward, but also, understand we got to repeat. It's going to be hard to repeat. El Travador. coming out talking, maybe doing some yoga like Chris Jones did with Kay Adams. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But that's part of what I like about preseason is watching the starters and the stars chum it up, in their street clothes.
It's gonna be nice.
People. So, anyways, what are your lasting thoughts on?
The new franchise episode is back.
Oh yeah,
so,
that was good.
So football is just getting closer, and
Yeah.
it's hot, but here in about 2 months it's going to be cold. And
Are you the weatherman?
Yeah.
That's so great. And to you, Trenton Wilbanks. And now to Trenton for the weather. It's hot, but in about 2 months it's going to be cold. Here in Kansas City, we've got rain, and more storms. Oh.
I love the weather. And so does Calvin. The only thing else that I can think of is it's here, man. Preseason. I think they have their first preseason game this Sunday. I don't know who they're playing.
It's Sunday at noon. I think they're playing the Saints. So maybe
Lord have mercy.
Derek Carr.
Oh yeah, you think he's gonna be playing?
Probably he should be because he's got a new team.
Gotta figure something out.
Here's the thing: is that the Chiefs play their starters probably more than anybody in the preseason.
Just
and
to
you know
gel.
what?
Yeah, exactly. Just
and you know what? They win, and they come out of the gate playing hard, and they win, and they're not like the Arizona Cardinals. Who don't play any starters. Like Aaron Rodgers hasn't played a preseason game in 6 years.
He's bragging about that.
No, screw you. Play the starters. Sorry, I went on a rant there, but yeah.
No, I think it's important. Quality time is all the time.
Right. So you got to, and I think Mahomes has to get in touch with these receivers. We got some new receivers.
Richie James.
Justin Ross is looking good, baby.
The Ross hype's real. Yeah.
Well,
it looks really good.
See, because it's
I want to see some more Sky Moore, and I want to see Kadarius Toney back after that knee surgery.
Yeah, I want to see him back. Maybe not on X or Twitter. We don't need you arguing with the Giant fans. Just who cares? So
there we go. I think it's about all I got, man. But
that is all we have for you.
Next week for our reaction to training camp, preseason, and maybe episode 4 of quarterback.
Episode 4 of quarterback. Is this where Mahomes plays? I don't know. We'll find out what happens in episode 4.
Could be. Tune in next week and find out.
Except for
in the meantime, it's going to be sunny with partly cloudy conditions, 80% humidity. And a 100% chance of
if you're white like
preseason football.
If you're white like me and Trenton, wear plenty of sunscreen because otherwise you will get burned.
I've actually been tanning pretty good.
I wonder if that's why Chris Jones doesn't go to training camp because he doesn't want to get sunburned. You think Patrick Mahomes gets sunburned?
No, he's a Texas boy.
That's right. All right, peace be with you all.
And also with you.
Thank you.